Let's talk about AI and whether it's going to replace you or something else, because that is a hot topic. But what I see is your expertise is not at risk, but your pricing model is. This is Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution. And I'm talking to you if you are a firm owner that's an accountant, bookkeeper, tax preparer. Think about it. If AI tomorrow took 30% of your workload off of your plate, you didn't have to do it any longer manually. It can now be automated. How would that impact your income? Would it go up or would it go down? So that is what I want to be able to focus on, because they see automation, yes, as speeding things up. You get more efficient, but if you're still charging for your time, then it reduces the amount of time that something takes. And does that need to be reflected in what you're invoicing your clients? So when you're tying your fees of time, efficiency is something you get punished for doing. And we want to look at how it's not replacing you, but it's placing how you are charging your clients, billing them for time and invoicing them afterwards. So as we go through this, I'm going to share some actionable strategies in order for you to be able to capture higher revenue as your workload reduces. And this was spurred on by a conversation I recently had with Dana, who's an accounting firm owner. And she was thinking, okay, Lauren, if I move in this direction of adding in more technology, then some clients might think that they deserve to have a lower bill, or possibly that they can just have AI do it themselves. They don't need me anymore. And that's when I asked her, what is it that your clients are paying you for? Is it that they're paying you for interpreting the data or putting the data into their QuickBooks or your accounting software? And that is something for you to think about. What are they paying you for? And that question starts to change things around when you look at it, because AI does not replace your expertise. It might actually give you even more insights to be able to elevate how you work with your clients at a higher quality. But what it does do is it removes the manual, repetitive tasks. It takes that off your plate. So once again, it's not going to take away from your expertise. It might actually even enhance it, how you're able to work with your clients, but it does take some of that lower level work off of your plate. So your judgment, your strategy, your insights, being able to tell the story behind the numbers, those are things that you are still uniquely qualified to do. And what it's going to be able to free you up from is the routine manual tasks, so you can do that higher level advisory work. So if you are still billing by the hour, by your time, a fixed fee, but it's still based on time and hours, that means that faster work, clients are paying less. But it doesn't affect your brain and what you know and your expertise that you bring to the table of how to be able to apply that data to their business so they benefit. So that remains the same. You ought to be elevated and rewarded for your expertise, not punished because you become more efficient. So when you are able to shift away from time-based fees over to value, then being faster is actually something you are rewarded for. You're able to be more profitable. You can actually scale your firm faster. And it is now that you're focusing and leading with the impact you make for your clients, as opposed to the technical aspects of what you're doing in order to be able to have the numbers at the end of the month. So once again, think about how you're charging for your fees, charging clients. You're going to be punished with time-based fees, especially as you're implementing more AI solutions and software. And if you value pricing, it actually increases your profit margins as you become more efficient. So identify one service that you are still charging for time or calculating time as you're thinking what to charge a client for that. And ask yourself, what outcome does this deliver to my client? How do my clients benefit? And what is it worth to them for them being able to have this information or being able to have this work done for them? So once again, focus on the outcome the service delivers, not the work to deliver the service, and how your client benefits from that. And this starts to be able to have you look at the work that you're doing for your clients, from what it is that's important to you, which is your time, to what is the value to them, looking at it by stepping into their shoes. And now I want to be able to talk a little bit about the yes buts that come up as you begin to shift away from time-based fees, whether hourly or fixed, over to value pricing. And once again, I want to talk about Dana, that firm owner that I was telling you about, because we wanted to do a test. We wanted to just take 3 clients and have her automate some of the reconciliations that she did for them. And after about 1 week of doing this, she realized she was saving 10 hours that 1 week by having it automated. Instead of it being manual, it was now automated. So it was faster, it was more efficient, there were less mistakes to be able to correct. It made things actually more effective as well as efficient. But one of the things to look at is that she wasn't replacing it with more manual work. She was now taking that freed up time and looking at some of her best clients and how she can support them even more. She started to look at how we can add in quarterly financial reviews so that she can now have these more advanced conversations with clients, the ones that really appreciated those conversations, and how it would make a difference for them. So by freeing up that 10 hours a week, she was able to now replace that manual work with having some advisory sessions with her clients. Her best clients really appreciated that. And as a result, it was a win-win, because after doing this and adding in those quarterly financial reviews with her clients, she was able to increase her revenue because of the fact that she was now doing a higher level service that she couldn't provide before. It actually brought in an additional $25,000 in new revenue for her. And the thing is that her clients, they didn't care how long it took to do the work. They appreciated the fact that she could use those meetings with them so that they were making better business decisions as their businesses were continuing to grow. So once again, they didn't care how efficient she was. They cared more about how they were meeting with her to apply the insights so that they can go ahead and grow their businesses and scale as well. So once again, the efficiency from AI didn't reduce her value. It freed up her time to actually do high level work with her clients. And that is what AI can do for you. And when you charge for the value of that, how your clients benefit, then you can go ahead and capture the opened up hours. You are able to use it differently, and it can go ahead and not only increase your top line, but improve and strengthen your bottom line as well. So look at your calendar this week and find that one time-consuming task that you know could be automated. There is an AI or software solution for that. And think to yourself, if you were able to free up your time, what higher level work could you focus on instead? So once again, if you were able to take just one task that you're currently doing yourself and you were able to automate it, how would that make a difference with the freed up time, and what would you do instead? So this is what I hear sometimes, is that you're going to get a client and they are naturally going to ask, because some clients are price sensitive. So if it's going to be faster, can I go ahead and get a lower price for that? It's not taking you as long anymore. And here's what you want to respond when they ask that question, because you know they will. You want to say, yes, we're more efficient, but that doesn't change the outcome of what we're doing for you. You're still receiving the same clarity and strategy as you always have. So once again, you want to take the answer away from being defensive, and you want to focus on, yes, you are more efficient, acknowledge that, but it doesn't change the outcome. They're still receiving the same results, and that is really what they are hiring you to do. They don't want to just rent you out. They want you to be able to achieve a certain solution for them, and that's what we want you to connect your fees to. So we want to be able to, once again, look at how you shift, because you will get faster. You probably have already begun getting faster as things become more and more automated. We want you to be able to benefit from that. Once again, not be punished. And so the value pricing is able to compensate you for the impact you make, not how much time it takes you to deliver that impact. So once again, find one service that you are now ready to automate. So before you were thinking about one, now you were looking at one that you're doing manually and that you could free up hours, and what would that make a difference? So now pick that one service you would love to automate. And think about if you were able to revise how you communicate that to clients that's outcome focused, what would that sound like? What would you say? And something to think about as an example is, instead of saying we do 10 hours of bookkeeping every month, you want to be able to look at it being more, we offer our clients financial clarity and actionable insights. So once again, it's not about the time when you're talking about this to clients. We do 10 hours of bookkeeping for you every month. It's more about the fact that you're able now to give them financial clarity as well as insights. And that is really the foundational piece of value pricing, is how you talk about it. And you lead with the benefits and the outcomes instead of the tasks and how long something takes. So I know this is something to think about. You're already busy. You don't really have the time to be able to research what new tools or software you could be adding in. And I just want to say, you don't need a really big tech stack. You need an essential one. And start out with the basics if you haven't been starting to build that in. And know how that piece of software you're going to add in is going to benefit your company and also adjust capacity. So there's small things you could be looking at, and even the small things, whether it is something that improves the flow, something that is going to be able to bring transactions in very, very quickly because it's now automated instead of being done manually, maybe categorizing transactions or report generation. Something that could be easily done is going to start saving you hours and hours each and every week. So think about, this is your next step. Pick that one small automation that you want to test, just one. You don't need all of them, just choose one. And think about and track how much time you're saving now. And then decide, once you realize how much time you're saving, just like Dana earlier, how you are going to reinvest that time. Will you reinvest it in advisory? Are you going to maybe be able to do a project that's been on your plate that you couldn't get to, business development, or just take back some of that personal time that you've been meaning to take back so you can spend more time with your family, improve your self-care. So that's something to think about, is by automating something, you will free up time. That is guaranteed. And how is it that you want to repurpose that time back? So there are so many firms, more and more, that are moving away from time-based fees over to value pricing because AI and software has changed how you do business, how your business operates, and how you can serve your clients. And we want your pricing to reflect that. So instead of being afraid of AI, find out how you can embrace it in order to be able to elevate your service, free up some of your capacity, be able to work with your clients at a higher level now than you could up until now. So here's your next move. Once again, look at one service where you still bill hourly. And think about, if AI handled that work, would your pricing still hold up? Because that's the essence of this. Would you actually be able to benefit from that, where it adds to your bottom line, you have more profit margin, or will you take a ding because now you're more efficient and it adjusts the fees that you're charging your clients? So once again, just look at that one service that you can possibly automate, and will your fees still hold up? And if you know that they're not going to, you're going to be more efficient, which means less time, which means that clients would be paying you less, even though the outcome is the same. So it's a hard no. Then it is time to rethink your pricing model. So That's something you want to be able to turn around, where you don't see AI any longer as a threat as you become more efficient, but you see it as a way to be able to scale and advance your firm, increase your profit margins. Then let's have a conversation and make this happen. We can meet and have a strategy session about how to be able to look at your pricing, where there's money on the table, that you can still actually increase your revenues without adding to your workload, and how to be able to focus on results as opposed to hours spent with clients. Because when you make that shift from time-based fees over to value pricing, then AI becomes a resource for you that elevates your firm and strengthens your profit margins. Anyway, you don't need more hours. What you need is that pricing model that actually rewards you as you become more efficient, and it allows you to have the freedom to be able to put things in place to free you from the lower level manual tasks. Anyway, let me know what you took away from this, how it resonated with you, what it affirmed for you, what action step you plan on doing next. I am interested in how this is going to go ahead and make a difference for you and elevate your clients and the type of work that you can do with them. I look forward to our next conversation. This is Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution, showing accounting firm owners how to be able to double their revenue working half the time.